There, kindergartners. I hope you've been having a great day today. I am so glad that I get to read to you. Today, we're going to read a book that I think is perfect for this week with Halloween right around the corner. It is a book called I Need My Monster. I Need My Monster. And in this book, there's going to be a little boy who at bedtime doesn't worry about a monster being under the bed, but he worries about it being the wrong monster. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what happens in I Need My Monster, written by Amanda Noel, illustrated by Howard McWilliams. I Need My Monster. Tonight, when I looked under the bed for my monster, I found this note instead. Gone fishing. Back in a week. Gabe. What was I going to do? I needed my monster under my bed. How was I supposed to go to sleep if my monster was gone? So his monster had gone on vacation, and now he was worried what would he do without his monster. I tried to sleep, but it wasn't the same without Gabe. I missed his ragged breathing, his nose whistling, the scrabbling of his uncut claws. How would I ever get to sleep without Gabe's familiar scary noises and spooky green ooze? It was no use. Gabe would be gone for a week, and I just had to have a monster. I climbed quietly out of bed so my parents wouldn't hear me. Grown-ups have strange ideas about monsters under beds. I knocked on the floorboards, then scrambled back under my covers. I waited nervously. Would a monster appear? What would they be like? Would his snoring be as cheerful as Gabe's? He really needs a monster to help him sleep. I wonder why. You know, I was always scared of a monster under my bed or in my closet when I was little. Even now, sometimes when I turn off the light, I get a little spooked out. When I heard some creaking under my bed, I knew that the substitute monster had arrived. "Good evening," said a low, breathy voice. "My name is Herbert, and I will be your monster this evening." Herbert, what kind of name is that for a monster? You don't sound scary at all. Have you ever scared a kid before? Well, no, but I have read all the best books on the topic. Do you have long teeth and scratchy claws? I asked. No, I do have an overbite, and I am a mouth breather. Listen. Herbert's panting was kind of scary, but it wasn't enough for me. Listen, Herbert, I'm sorry. I just don't think this is going to work. It's nothing personal, but I need a monster with claws. Picky, picky, Herbert complained. As you wish. I'll go. There was some creaking, and then Herbert was gone. He was not a very scary monster, so he sat and waited, hoping that another monster would come. Some scratching warned me that a second monster had appeared. "Good evening," he said in a high voice. "My name is Ralph. I understand you need a monster with claws. If you would please lean over, I'll hold out an arm for an inspection." I crouched to the edge of the bed, hoping to see a horrible, shaggy arm with warm, ragged nails. Look at the spooky eyes. Instead, I was surprised to see the sleeky, brushed fur with smooth, shiny claws. "Excuse me, I don't mean to be rude," I asked. "Is that nail polish on your claws?" "Yes, it is," Ralph replied. "I believe professional monsters should always be well groomed." I could tell that this was not going to work out either. "I'm sorry to disappoint you, Ralph, But I need a monster with scary claws, like Gabe's. I heard some more scratching, and I knew Ralph had left. Ralph was not scary enough because he painted his claws. A minute later, a third voice came from under my bed. "Check out these claws, kid!" I gathered my courage and I peered over the edge. The claws were impressive, ragged and dark and razor sharp. So far, so good. I was feeling a little bit nervous. "Could you stick out your tail?" I whispered. "Sure, but don't get scared." Oh my goodness, look at those claws. I peeked through my fingers at the slimy tail slithering over my foot. That's when I noticed the bow. "Are you a girl monster?" "Of course I am! My name's Cynthia," said the monster. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work out. I need a boy monster. Boys monsters are for boys, and girl monsters are for girls. Everybody knows that. "Well, aren't you picky?" she sniffed, and she was gone. Was I being too picky? No. I knew that my monster needed to be well-clawed and menacing. The whole point of having a monster, after all, was to keep me in bed, imagining all the scary stuff that could happen if I got out. So for him, it helps him sleep at night knowing there's a monster under the bed because it keeps him from getting out of bed. Well, but then I heard a shuffling noise and some slobbering. A fourth monster. "Hey, my name's Mac!" One look at the claws proved that Mac was big, scruffy boy monster. I shivered. Maybe this one would work out. "Those are excellent claws, but do you have a long tail?" "No, my tail is a little stumpy," Mac slurped. "But I do have an unusually long tongue." I didn't know what to do. "Watch out, I might just lick ya!" I couldn't stop laughing. "Well, you're not even gonna try to work with me." I held back my giggles. "I really don't think you should send me away. Kids who reject 5 monsters in one night." I did not reject 5 monsters tonight. My regular monster went fishing. "Fishing, eh? Maybe he just left because you're so picky." "Fine, I'm out of here. I wouldn't expect another monster tonight if I were you." How would I sleep without my monster? I wonder if Gabe did leave because he was too picky. I was surprised to hear the creaking under the bed, loud creaking with scratching. "I thought there were going to be no more monsters to appear tonight," I said. "Sorry I'm late, kid." Oh, it was Gabe. "I thought I'd enjoy fishing, but I didn't. Those fish scare too easily. No challenge at all. You, however, are challenging, my friend. You're almost too old to be afraid of monsters. You keep me on my toes." Ah, toes. A delicious snack. The bed quivered as Gabe's stomach rumbled with hunger. "Now, if you don't mind, I'll start the evening off with a puddle of drool." I peeked over the bed. Green ooze spread from underneath. He is a scary monster. Then the bed trembled as Gabe unfurled his spiked tail. He was daring me to guess where he might pop out. I shivered. Oh, you had some substitute monsters tonight, Gabe said, sharpening his claws. Were you scared? Then Gabe started tapping. I could tell he wanted to know if I needed it. No other monster can scare me like you, diving under my covers and pulling them up tight. Through the blanket, I heard Gabe's soft, comforting snorts. Ha! I knew it! We're made for each other. Gabe was a scary monster, and that's exactly what this boy needed. When my blanket started to slip off my bed, I knew Gabe was ready to eat. Now if you could please stick out your foot. I'd like to nibble on your pinky toe. I yanked my blanket back and I scrunched my feet up so Gabe couldn't get them. No toes tonight, but you can have this, I offered, pushing a pillow off my bed. I didn't hear it hit the floor. Gabe was back. The ooze was perfect. Everything felt like normal. I shivered again, on my way to be asleep. The end. What a wonderful story, friends, about how sometimes we need that perfect other person that gives us what we need and we give them what they need. For Gabe, he needed a boy who was tough to scare. And for the boy, he needed a scary monster to help him sleep. Friends, they share a community together, just like we've been learning this week. We have people in our community who we need, and they need us back just as much. I'm so thankful to have you in my community, and that I get to spend this week with you as we count down the days to Halloween. I love you, and I hope you have a great rest of your break before you head off to specials. Bye, everyone.